We had a fantastic response on Twitter. Keep them coming. Tom Coombe at TBoomCBoom says, sounds like you can say anything you want now as long as you say it sarcastically. And obviously sarcastically is a reference to the context in which John Terry says that he used that phrase earlier in the week. The second person I want to bring in is Perry Groves, because he's waiting to speak to us. He's a friend of the show. Evening, Perry.
Good evening.
Now, first things first, I just read that tweet out, so it may be a good place to start. Sounds like you can say anything you want, says Tom Coombe, as long as you say it sarcastically. Agree?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I was amazed at the verdict. I wasn't surprised, because it seems like now in the English justice system, if you have money and you can afford to get the right lawyers, then you're going to get yourself found not guilty. Because I must admit, Darren, I was looking at all of the transcripts from the whole week, and I actually thought the prosecution, I think it was Mr. Penny, was particularly weak, because the reason that I thought that John Terry might be in trouble, he changed his story 4 or 5 times. Right at the start, he said he didn't say anything. Then he said that he saw that of Anton Ferdinand on the pitch, and Anton Ferdinand said, well, no, we didn't. Then he said we shook hands afterwards, but Anton Ferdinand didn't realise what he'd said. Then John Terry said, I'm really offended that people think I would say that. And then when he realised it was on film, then he changed his mind, and then he said, actually, yes, I did say that, but I said it sarcastically. So normally if you change your story 4 or 5 times, it means you have something to hide.
It's interesting, isn't it? I mean, we keep having to make very clear on the show John Terry's been exonerated, he's been cleared of the charges against him. However, there are many questions that people legitimately have a right to pose and to explore. And as Perry was saying, there do appear to many people to be discrepancies in the accounts that John Terry has given since the point at which that footage emerged on YouTube. One of the things I pointed out here to the chaps, Perry, was the fact that there seems to be a split in the number of people who were willing to sign that statement backing John Terry, and a number of senior players within the club who didn't. What does that say to you?
To be honest, I don't think you can, if you're not there and you're not on the pitch, you can't actually say what you heard or what you think that you heard. I know Ashley Cole was quite vehement in defence of John Terry, but he's going to, because he's his mate. You're going to back your friend up. I get that completely. What I don't get is the prosecution not actually. All the transcripts that I read, Darren, I didn't see one where the prosecution said to John Terry, well, why have you kept changing your story? And the sarcasm, what I don't understand as well, so it's okay to say those sort of things if you're being sarcastic. And the thing that worries me is, if anything else goes on a football pitch, are other black players going to be quick to come forward to say that they've been... I'm not saying that Antoine was racially abused, because John Terry has obviously been found not guilty. But if there is a case, are other black players going to be brave enough to come forward? Because they look at that case and they actually think, well, it's actually on film.
Absolutely.
So what they're saying is... but now they're saying is, well, lip reading doesn't really count. And it's the context. There's only one person, and I think was it Riddle? The judge was Mr.
Howard Riddle, the Chief Magistrate.
Yeah, right. And he said, in the context, I can't prove the context of what John Terry said. So there's only one person who knows, and that's John Terry himself.
So, Rohan, well, let me bring Rohan in here, because, again, it goes back to the question I asked you originally. Is there a context for highly sexual, racist terms on the field of play?
On the field of play, no, but it does happen in dressing room. It can lead onto the pitch, possibly in the heat of the moment, someone saying something that could be seen offensive. I don't think there should be a place for it, but these things happen. Okay. So maybe people feel comfortable enough to say certain things. And
as Perry was saying, many players may now look at the system, look at the situation and think, is there a point? If I perceive something's been said to me that I think is a racist slur, is there a point in pursuing it?
I think people will definitely think like that, and because I think some people kind of, the way that the case went over the last 4 or 5 days, it was like they kind of felt that it was leaning towards John Terry early doors. So the fact that that happened, they're going to be thinking this is going up, but it's different. They're going up against the England captain or the former England captain.
He keeps making that point.
But
see, this is different to what Rohan and Perry's saying, because what's saying, if somebody abuses you on the field and you hear it and you go to the referee and say this and make a statement afterwards and say I was abused by someone, that's different to what this was. This was somebody off the field, which Anton didn't know until afterwards.
Yes.
So really, I think, you know, don't stop. If someone gets abused on the pitch for your colour or your creed or whatever it is, you should go to the referee straight away and go, I got abused by this guy, and make a statement afterwards, and it's you against them.